Good morning. My name's Simon Barnes from the University of Kent. I work with the team in the Research and Innovation department at the university, and it's our job really to see how the university can collaborate with industry to bring those projects through to the benefit of you as industry partners. Now, this morning I'm going to talk about the UK industrial strategy. Believe it or not, despite being the first industrialisation, the UK didn't have a national industrial strategy until 2017. There was a plethora of things that we did. We did things by sector, we did things in region, and we did things in different countries. But the aim of the UK industrial strategy is really to pull together our research excellence and help industry. The UK has 4 out of the top 10 research universities in the world, but we're not very good at actually putting that through to innovation. And as a child who grew up in the 1970s, when we looked at some of the innovations we had then around supersonic flight, for example, for one reason or another, very complex reasons, we weren't particularly good at putting that through into an industrial and commercial product, not as good as our industrial neighbours. So how does the industrial strategy work? Well, after a long period of consultation and feedback, the UK industrial strategy identifies 4 grand challenges for the future for the UK. I think they're actually more relevant today than they probably were when they were set in 2017. And that really says something about the robustness of them. And I think even within your own business, thinking of how you're doing in terms of just these 4 grand challenges will help you in terms of your innovation strategy. So the first one is around AI and data. I think we all realise the importance of data, AI and digital and the digital economy to us, and what that might mean in terms of this new language and this new way of going forward. So how can the university help you with that data and get value from that data, both from the School of Computing and also the business school? Innovation in data is going to become critical to maintain that energy and that market leadership. The second area is around clean growth. Really important that we're able to deliver on our carbon targets and climate change. And that really will become, I think, an important objective in terms of our energy mix of the future and how we provide energy for transport, for heating our homes and for industry, and how we do that in a low carbon way. I think there's a real opportunity here for innovation. We know we've seen some so far, but that's got to accelerate. A recent report for the Department for Transport said we've really got 5 years to make choices on our clean energy strategy to deliver by 2040. So it's a really important 5 years in this area. Future mobility, how do we move around? How do we move people and goods around in the future? What does that mean? How do we actually link that maybe to data and digital to become an economy that both has a digital infrastructure and a physical infrastructure that's optimized and as one? Again, a really interesting area, how that's going to work and what the impact of that might be on society. Will it be beneficial to society or will it be divisive? So not just a technology issue, very much a social one as well, as is the last one around ageing society. We're not very good at ageing, I don't think, in this country. And again, we've seen that for the recent pandemic. Ageing society, we've got problems with, for example, how do we cope with a care system in the future that we can afford? And doesn't necessarily mean that we have that burden of ageing society and that we're prepared for ageing society very early on in our years. How can technology help us? Digital technology, again, is going to be important here. Underlying all of these issues are the UK's performance on productivity. The UK is not a strong productivity nation in relation to our competitors. Our productivity record is poor. We really are in the 3rd or 4th division in productivity, and we've got to improve. So the strategy of how we do that. So 5 foundations of productivity. And again, I think these are really relevant to your own business and can help your own business think of productivity. So how good are you at turning ideas into innovation and making money from them or benefiting society from them or those all of the range kind of issues? I'm very good at having ideas, but it's for you guys as business to turn them into that innovation. And the university is even better than I am, by the way. So the second element is around people and skills for the future, exciting new areas in health and life sciences. Are we training the right people? The advent of the medical school here at the university is a really good example of how we're investing in skills as a university and people. Infrastructure is both physical and digital infrastructure. How can 5G help us make us more productive? How can improved rail, how are we going to cope with rail in the future? What does that mean? And so really interesting work there and challenges. Business environment, making sure that we encourage businesses to grow, to use this phrase that we're hearing more about, how to bounce back in the best way and a safe way without necessarily issues such as regulation holding their business back, but keeping it safe. I think we'll hear more about that in the next few months. And then lastly, about places, making sure that places can prosper. So, for example, for our region here, what's going to happen to coastal communities and how do coastal communities benefit from the grand challenges and how do we make them places of innovation? And that's going to be a really interesting challenge as well. So these really are how the 5 pillars work, and I won't say much about this slide in terms of what we want to do. We want to be innovative, we want to have the best people, infrastructure, the best business environment and places. But I would just read these, maybe have a look at them, come back to them, and again see how they impact not only the university but also within your own business. What do we want to do with the University of Kent? Well, for the last 2.5 years, myself and my colleague Sophie and the rest of the innovation team have really been working to find those business opportunities and how we sustain longer term business relationships. So we don't just do one project with a business, but how do we embed academia and industry into business? And this isn't solely and exclusively a University of Kent ideal. And we work with other universities very closely, both in the region and also nationally, to ensure we can get the best academic innovation into your business, increasing those collaborations and connecting the industrial strategy with the changes at the university towards new themes and new divisions. And I'll say more about that in a new video and how we're building that relationship at the university. So what do we want to do? We want to talk to you about your ideas. We also talk to the academic about their ideas. We pull those two together and we support that conversation. And my role, and I think Sophie's as well, it is for sure, is to be a facilitator for those ideas. We do that through events or webinars, and we will support you with funding applications. So if you've got ideas, just please drop myself or Sophie a line. Our emails are there, and we can always come and talk to you and have that discussion. Or today, we can do that over video, and we could do it over Teams or Zoom, as we've been doing very busy in the last 3 months. Thank you very much for your time, and I hope myself and my colleagues in research and innovation can give you those ideas to make sure your business is in a robust place. And working with the university is a really good opportunity to do that. Thank you very much for your time today.